Good morning, everyone. Patty Goolsby out of the Denver metro area. Thanks for joining us every Friday morning. Two quotes that we share every Friday. Number one is a culture is strong when people work with each other for each other, and a culture is weak when people work against each other for themselves. And my favorite is a culture eats strategy for breakfast every time. Peter Drucker, that is absolutely my favorite. So with that, I'm going to send it over to another Pro 6 out of the Denver metro area, Shannon Shine, to introduce our guest. Shannon, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Patty. You guys, I'm so excited for all of us to hear from our speaker today, Erika Dale. She is a brand new Pro 7. And the bio that she sent to me, listen to this. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I want that journey. She's 34 years old. Her hubby and she live in Indy, where they own 2 gyms and a nutrition company, Macro Missionary. She's currently studying for her PhD in nutrition. She joined LifeVantage in October 2015, and since then she's earned 6 trips and is a brand new Elite Pro 7. So Erika, we are so excited for you to share with us today. Please tell us your story. Why LifeVantage? Take it away.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it, and I'm humbled. And yeah, LifeVantage, I always say LifeVantage found me. I wasn't looking. In 2015, I was actually managing my now husband's gym. We were just dating, newly dating. And, you know, I loved what I did. I loved the gym industry. In 2012, I actually lost 60 pounds myself. So I really liked to help people get on their path and get on their journey. But what I learned very quickly is that gym managers don't make very much income, right? And I was living less than paycheck to paycheck. I tell this story, you know, I tell this story a lot now. My husband and I were newly dating, and he texted me and he said, hey, you know, can you go grab my laptop from the computer guy? You know, it's ready. What he neglected to tell me was I had to pay cash. I didn't have cash. I didn't have money. And so I walked into this place with my checkbook because I didn't have $50 in my bank account. And I sweet talked the computer guy into letting me write a check, right? So I wrote a bad check, hurried up and called my sister when I got in the car, and I said, can you put $50 in my bank account? I'll pay you back on Friday when I get paid. That was my life just 3.5 years ago, right? And so I didn't even tell my husband this because I was so embarrassed. And, you know, he had his finances together, and I didn't feel like I was honestly worthy of him because I didn't. And so I shared that story with him probably a little over a year into LifeVantage, and he was like, I had no idea. And I'm like, yeah, there's a reason for that. It's not something I wanted to be public about with you. But LifeVantage found me, and I had every excuse in the world. I was working 50 hours a week. I had no time. I already was neglecting different passions of mine, like my own workouts sometimes, just to get that job done. And so at first I was like, yeah, this sounds cool. It sounds great, but I don't have the time, right? How many of you guys have had prospects that's their number one objection is they don't have the time? The second thing was I don't have the money, right? I didn't have $1,200 to get started in this company. And then I finally sat back and I said, if not now, then when? If at 31 years old, I don't have $1,200 to invest in a business or extra time, when will I ever have those things? And so I said, you know what, I'll figure it out. I'm going to do this. And so I got started as a platinum distributor and fit it into the nooks and crannies, right? When the gym was dead, I worked my business. When I'd get up a half hour earlier, I'd stay up a half hour later to make this happen. And in 4 months, I earned the Mediterranean cruise. So that was my first incentive trip. And Jesse, my husband now, you know, he was very skeptical. He's a traditional brick and mortar business owner, you know, invested hundreds of thousands of dollars. When he opened his first gym, he was married. He actually put his wife's wedding ring on the line for them to get the startup, to get the capital to open this gym. And so when I told him I was starting a business for $1,200, he laughed at me. You know, he was like, you can't start a business for $1,200. That's not a business. And he supported me. He believed in me. So he was a naysayer, but not in the true fashion of, you know, he didn't tell me I shouldn't do it. He said, do your thing. That was his words to me, do your thing. And so when we earned that cruise and he went with me, he literally left that ship, and he could not wait to call his best friend, who was also the same, like, that's not a business. She didn't invest any money. That's not a real business. And he couldn't wait to call him to let him know what we were a part of. And his friend is now sort of supportive, right? 6-figure income, and his friend is still kind of like, yeah, I don't know. But he does use our product. He does use the hair care. So I consider that a win. But it was very shortly after that first incentive trip that Jesse and I kind of sat down and had the conversation about hiring a manager to take my position. And that was very scary for me, because that gym salary, while it wasn't very much, it was consistent. It was, guaranteed income that was coming in. And for me to replace myself, I didn't get to keep my income, right? I had to get rid of that to bring on a manager. But I knew what was possible in LifeVantage. I knew what we had. And so a year into this company, I went home. I worked from home full time, and hired a gym manager. And after probably 6 months or so, that manager was doing way more than I ever could, right? Because I was kind of on the fence of two different things. I was now a Pro 6 in LifeVantage and was tripled what I was making as a gym manager. But I was able to get my income back from the gym because he was doing so well. And so things just really started to kind of fall into place. And, I've earned, like we said, I've earned 6 trips. And so one of the things that I do, you guys, is I run my business trip to trip. When an incentive trip is launched, so next month when the next incentive trip is launched, LifeVantage is amazing. They literally spell it out to you, like, how can you earn this trip? And typically we have many, many months to earn it. And so I just kind of figure that out, like, okay, it's 1,000 points, let's say, to earn whatever. We have 6 months to do it. So I just do the math. Well, how many points do I need to have on average each month to make this trip happen? And by doing that, by doing the activities to earn those trips, your business is going to grow. You're going to rank up. You're going to enroll new people. You're going to do all of the things that is going to increase your paycheck and allow you to have a bigger business, all while earning these trips. When I hit Pro 7, I was in South Carolina yesterday on a family vacation, and corporate called me on Wednesday, I believe, just to congratulate me. And it was so cool, so humbling. But, our CSO, our CEO, our corporate, just 5, 6, 7 people in this room talking to me. And they said that they can't believe, all the trips that I've earned. And Justin Rose was actually like, you've earned every trip since you came in, right? And I said, well, I've earned every trip except for Cancun. But see, that one we just don't talk about because it just didn't happen, right? So that's kind of my way of running my business. I try to earn every incentive. In fact, I got on stage one time. I don't even remember which incentive it was. I think it was the Pro 3 Frenzy. And one of the corporate staff said, do you just win everything that we offer? And I said, well, isn't that what we're supposed to do? And so I know I'm joking, but if you guys structure your business that way and you just do those activities, like they're launching the activities, the point system for these trips in order for you to grow your business. So it's kind of a win-win situation. And if you guys haven't yet earned an incentive trip, do what you got to do to earn the next one, because that's what sealed the deal for my husband, who was somewhat of a naysayer. He's like, okay, we're going to earn every trip, right? We got married in Hawaii on a company trip. Our wedding in Hawaii was paid for. Like, that's just crazy. So that's kind of my biggest piece of advice for you guys. And I think that you guys are going to ask me some questions. So I'll let you fire it away and we'll go from there.
Oh my God. I love your energy. And I remember when you were on stage and you said that, you're like, isn't that what we're supposed to do? I love it. So did you have network marketing experience before? Had you been in other companies where you had a little bit of taste for it?
Yeah. So I was in a company prior to LifeVantage for about 3 years. I would say more like 2 years. You guys, for the first year, I did nothing. I put in a couple customers. So if you have someone on your team that maybe is just not really doing anything, don't give up on them, because someone didn't give up on me. And actually the lady that reached down to me in that company was like 30 levels up. She was not making money on me, but she was just taprooting. She was digging into her team. And she found that, hey, this girl's got some volume. Maybe she'll do something. And so she reached out a year into network marketing. I'd never gone to an event. I'd never done much of anything. And I was poor. And she said, well, if you want my help, if you want me to coach you, you need to get to the next event. And I was like, lady, you're crazy. I mean, I didn't know her. I said, lady, you're crazy. I just told you I don't have any money and you want me to fly from Pennsylvania to California to the next event? Like, that's a $500 plane ride. And I made it happen. And that's where my business kind of took off, is where I really found the belief in this industry. I heard people on stage that had it way worse than I have ever had it, right? People who have come from just insane stories. If you guys have gone to events, you hear these stories, and it solidified it for me. So yeah, I had a couple years experience in the industry, and I will say that while that company was not really the best as far as the teaching and the learning, I took away the good from it and moved that over to LifeVantage. But I'll be honest, I'll be telling you guys this till the day I die. Like, LifeVantage is the unicorn of network marketing. This company is just, it's insane. It's home. And I tell you, when I say I wasn't looking, it's because I was so burnt out from that company, from all the bad things, that I didn't want to get involved again. I didn't want to do this again. And thank the Lord in heaven that I did, because it's just been a completely different journey.
Shannon, you're muted.
I saw a little message pop up. Oops. So I love how you just said LifeVantage is the unicorn of network marketing. So share how you share that idea with your prospects or with whoever you're talking to in a three-way call or something. Share how you build that picture for people.
Yeah. So really, I mean, I think you definitely want to relate it to that prospect. Everybody's different. So kind of try to figure out their pains or their reasonings, like why would they join you? And if it's income focused, then share someone's story, share my story, sell someone else's story. But if it's not, like, I share our customer retention. Guys, 82% customer retention is unheard of in network marketing, in case you didn't know that. I share that 60% of our distributors were first customers. And so, because I think so many companies out there, they're so distributor focused and they're so heavy on distributors that it kind of turns off new people, because they think that, well, if I can't go and recruit distributors, if I can't go and build a team very, very fast, I'll never have the success that some of these people are having. And so I share the stats, the customer retention. I lead with product. I lead with product every single time. So, again, feel out your person, listen for their pain points, share that, in 2015, when I got started in this company, we had 3 products, and we've grown. I always say, like, we have 20 products. I don't even know how many products we have. I should have that written down somewhere. But in 3.5 years, we've had all of these products, with all this growth, and we're still unheard of, right? You could go in a room right now and poll the 10 people in it, and maybe one person has heard of Pro Tandem. Maybe one person has heard of LifeVantage. And so we're still so unique and still unknown, that the growth that's going to happen over the next year, 2 years is insane. So you guys can share those things. You can also, depending on the person, you can talk about momentum. You can talk about the business cycles. And if they understand that, they'll understand that, hey, we're not yet to momentum, but it's right around the corner. And it's time to be a part of that, if you want to be a part of that.
Awesome. Okay, so I want to let's talk about being in the gym. Let's talk about gym owners, people that work out a lot. They're skeptical. The minute you start talking about a product, they're like, yeah, heard it all, tried it all. Where do you go, and what's kind of that next step for them?
Yeah, that's a hard one, you guys. I'll be completely, I told you my husband was skeptical. My husband was a naysayer. I showed him the ABC video. He knows science. I don't. He's like the nerd of our relationship. And even then, he's like, well, if this product does what it says it does. And I'm like, that's an investigative report. Like that's an ABC News report. But I would say you're with the gym owners, with fitness people, you really have to build that relationship, build the trust. share stories, share testimonies. People think that they need to lead with science with gym owners. I'll be honest with you, most gym owners don't have a clue. They don't know. My husband's kind of unique in that department. He's, 20 plus years experience in nutrition, but most gym owners are business people. So I would lead with residual income. I would talk about that because you don't make residual income as a gym owner, right? It's turnover is insane. We're selling our gyms, you guys. Our gyms are for sale. So if you know anyone in Indianapolis that wants to buy a gym, little plug, you guys, and we're selling them for a reason, because that industry, one, it's just not growing how it used to. Two, there's a gym on every corner. And unfortunately, the cheap gyms, the $10 a month gyms, are kind of taking over. So they're going after that quantity versus quality. And so if you can lead with that, if you can talk to gym owners, and again, feel free to share my story. I mean, we're selling our gyms for a reason. And it's not that we don't love the industry. We do. But there's just the stress levels, the overhead. I mean, we work for our landlord, right? Our rent for our gyms is $7,000 a month. And it's time. So that is something I would probably lead with them. I probably wouldn't honestly lead with product or science. Sad to say, but they just don't really get that. And they've been bombarded, like you said, with product after product. And so it's like, why is this any different?
So I have a question, Erika, going back to when you said you were the gym manager and then you quit that, and then a couple months later you were Pro 6 and your income had tripled. Talk to us, share with us what that activity looked like when you quit. What did you have to do to make that happen?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I work my business 99% on social media. It's what I get. It's what I know. So if you guys go to my social media, feel free to follow me. You'll see though, it's about building a brand. It's about building, traction marketing. It's not necessarily about product testimonies. I do that intermittently. And I think when you're brand new, you should do it a little bit heavier just because you are getting yourself out there. But if you go scroll through my Facebook, you're going to see pictures of my nieces and nephews, pictures of lifestyle, travel. We travel a lot. And then very sporadically, like last night I posted, wow, I just realized it's been 3 years and 6 months since I've had a migraine. Who else? And so things like that. And it says like hashtag NRF2 activated. So it doesn't even say Protandim or Little Yellow Pill or anything like that, but it makes people say, how do you not had a migraine? I deal with that. So the curiosity posts, my daily activity to this day, I am heavy on recruiting. I've recruited, I think, just over 500 customers and just shy of 100 distributors in the last 3.5 years. Mainly from social media. But I will tell you, you asked about how to get to 6 daily activities. What are your daily methods of operations? You guys, and like I said, I worked my business 10 or less hours a week when I first got started. So it's not about you have to pour 5-6 hours a day into this. You don't, and there's not enough things to do for you to do that. Even as a Pro 7, Pro 8, Pro 9, it's just, you don't have that amount of time. But you need to be intentional with your hours that you are working your business. You need to be getting, I like 3 a day press play. So 3 a day to a tool, the ABC video or whatever tools you guys are using. And that may take 10 conversations to get 3 people to say yes. It may take 3. But if you can get 3 people a day to go and watch that video, your business is going to grow immensely. But I will tell you, from 6 to 7, I had a very hard lesson to learn. You guys, I hit Pro 6 in October of 2017. So it took me a year to get to Pro 5. It took me 2 years to get to Pro 6. And then I sat. And it's okay. This is my journey. But I will tell you that I had some lessons to learn because I am so heavy on recruiting. It wasn't very stickable. I wasn't able to teach what I was doing to my team, and I wasn't leading them, and I wasn't helping them grow. And so when I started to dig into my team and when I started to make their goals more important than my goals, that's when Pro 7 happened. So think about that, or keep that in the back of your mind as you're growing into those bigger ranks, because it really is about your team. Whether you're a team of 1 or a team of 100, it's got to be about them.
I love it. And So thanks for speaking to that, because Shannon and I are both Pro 6s and have been for quite some time. Hit the ranks very quickly, but then have sat. So talk about the duplication of that, because if they can't duplicate you because of your social media and things that you're able to do, how did you dig into that, and how did you help them see that bigger picture and learn how they can do it? Because maybe they can't do what you're doing with social media.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is with the daily method, I'm actually, when I enroll a new person, I'm giving them like, all right, let's do this. And it's very, very step by step. It's very much hand holding. And I learned that the hard way, because I just assumed you guys, if they just started a business, I don't care if they spent $50 or $1,200, they just started a business. They want this. They're just going to go in and they're going to do the system, and they're going to learn it, and they're going to get on the calls. No, it doesn't work that way. And so I had to learn that, yes, they are saying yes to entrepreneurship, but most people that are getting started in this have never been an entrepreneur, and they're not always self-motivated, and they're not always just going to dive into the system and learn. And so I had to, take it one step at a time. And teach them, okay, let's do 3-way chats or 3-way calls, or we do launch calls in our team for brand new people where they invite, 70, 100 people, and then I present the overview to them. And then again, after that, it's still, okay, now go follow up with every single person and ask them where they fit in, if they need more info, if they're ready to be a customer, etc. So really just kind of hand holding as you step up into leadership. And you guys, you're a leader at brand new, you're a leader of yourself. If you have one person on your team, you're a leader of that person. So don't always rely on your upline to take over. I mean, they should, and I'm sure that Shannon and Patty are amazing at helping and diving into your teams with you. But the second you start kind of taking that from them, you're going to grow even faster. And one of my favorite quotes is, the man with the marker makes the money. So if you're not presenting yet, go learn it. Go watch recorded overviews. Go listen to videos or calls or whatever it is, and practice it. And you're going to be bad in the beginning, but that's okay. I stumble through my words every single call I do. I did 3 back-to-back last night, and I'm like, couldn't hardly breathe afterwards because I talk so fast, and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And I got off those 3, and I'm like, okay, I need to go to bed. But I still stumble through my words. I still mess up. But the thing is, and that's what I always tell my team, is those people on those calls and those Zooms, they don't know. They've never heard this information before. So if you screw up or you say the wrong thing, who cares? Move on. Do it again the next time and get better.
I love that you just said all of that. I think that's just so spot on for, helping your team. So can you address a little bit personal growth? Was that a part of your journey from 6 to 7? And, just in general, share with us about that.
Yeah, you guys, personal growth. I was the person, so I have a master's degree in school counseling. And when I joined network marketing almost 7 years ago, wow, I thought that was the stupidest thing in the world. You're telling me I got to go read more books. I just got done with a 6-year degree, and I've been reading my entire life. I'm done. I was so burnt out on reading. And I really just thought, I'll be honest, I was like, I have a master's degree. I don't need to read this stuff. Are you kidding me? Well, let me be honest, you guys. There's a reason that for a year in this industry, I did nothing because of that mindset, because I didn't like myself. I had 0 confidence. I was in a horrible relationship. I was 60 pounds overweight. All of that trickled down to the lack of personal growth, the lack of personal development. And when I started to listen to podcasts and I started to read books, like I have built-in bookshelves, you can't see them, but they're just filled with books. When my husband went back to start reading again and getting back into personal development, he's like, what should I read? I'm like, just come to my library. We have so many books and podcasts and all of that. And not only did that help me get from 6 to 7, but to be honest with you, that helped me from that after that first year in this industry. That's where I really decided, okay, these people have something, they have what I want. They're telling me to read. I'm going to read. I'm going to listen to podcasts. I'm going to get on the team calls, which I was skipping, because they know what they're talking about. And who am I, right? Who cares if I have a master's degree? Who cares when I get my PhD? That PhD isn't in network marketing. So you guys definitely let your egos out the door, like just get rid of them. And I promise you that if you start to read books and you start to work on yourselves, like Rachel Jackson is one of my mentors, and she says that when she got started in this industry, she was told to work on herself 80% of the time and work on her business 20. And she's like, that makes zero sense. I'm going to work on my business 80% of the time and I'm going to work on me the little bit, right? I'm good. And when she flipped the script and when she listened and she started to develop herself, I mean, she's a pro 9. So ask yourself, what do you want? And who do you want to follow in this industry, and do what they do.
Oh, I love it. And I love your energy, and I love how just point blank you are. You're like, look, you got to do this work, because if you don't, it won't happen.
Yeah, it's work, guys. It's network marketing, right? It's not like I tell people on my launch calls, this isn't a get rich quick scheme. This is a get rich slowly scheme. It's not a scheme, but you know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't going to happen overnight. And if you're expecting it to, you're going to burn yourself out. And sadly, that's why I think probably 1 in 10 people actually work this as a business. And the rest of it is a glorified customer or more of a hobby, which is okay. The beauty of this, it is your business and it is your pace, and you can do with it what you want. But if you're sitting on this call today and you're like, I want to be where Patty is, I want to be where Shannon is, I want to be where Erika is, then you've got to really take a look at yourself and take a look at your daily activities. Audit yourself every single day. Would you hire yourself for tomorrow, or would you fire yourself? And then if you say fire, then let's change it tomorrow. Don't quit. Just make those adjustments.
I love it.
Erika, you've given us so much wisdom today, and it's wonderful. Thank you so much. And I know this was super last minute, so I'm so happy it worked out and you were able to share with us this morning. And we cannot wait to meet you in Kansas City. So it is 9:30. Any last words from you?
No, guys, feel free. I mean, I'm an open book. If you have questions, especially if you need like 3 ways for gym specific people, more of an influencer in that department, feel free to use my name or reach out to me on Facebook. Make sure you follow me. Don't add me, because I feel so horrible when I have to decline a friend request, but I literally have 4 spaces left. So follow me, reach out to me, find me in Kansas City. I'm doing a social media training there. So if you're wanting to amp up your social media, hit up that training. But I know that Shannon and Patty are incredible leaders, and you guys are in good hands. So I'm excited to meet each of everyone, watch your names go through the ranks, and just blow this business up, because that's what we're doing.
I love it. I love it. We are so excited for you. Congratulations. Congratulations on all the trips. We are very excited to participate in Kansas City and come to that social media training, because I know I've been watching you, and I look at some of the things you do, and I'm like, wow, she's got her eye on the prize, and you're doing a great job. So thanks for influencing all of us and helping all of us, even though we're all not on the same team.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Everybody have a great Friday. Tomorrow's LVA. Get registered, or actually just show up, because it's too late to pre-register now. Same time next Friday, same place. We have another special guest coming your way. Thanks a lot, Erika, and we'll see you in Kansas City.
Bye, guys. Thanks.